Topic today is about the Movable Middles framework. It's an MMA global framework that we have. All of you are members of MMA, so kalian bisa akses framework ini. But basically, this framework talks about how the entire business moves forward just because you have been able to identify the movable middles. And I'll talk to you about that. But it is something that gives you more than 50% return on your advertising spends. Let me share a little bit. But before that, ini just to give you an information. So there are many MMA global frameworks. You are all accessible to that sebenarnya. And MMGF, Movable Middles Growth Framework, is one of them. So high impact, new knowledge. In case any of you want to access any other framework, bisa tinggal tanya kita. Tapi we're going to talk about specifically the Movable Middles framework. These are just some of the numbers, as you can see, that, some of the brands, the case studies that we've had globally, regionally. These are some of the numbers that you can see with some of the frameworks that we have implemented. Nah, kita play the video dulu. Kalian boleh fokus, suaranya dinaikin, videonya silakan.
This is a test of selective attention.
Suaranya dong.
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball.
All of you count how many times. The ones in the white t-shirt. Ayo, I'm gonna quiz you. Hitung, ayo, jangan salah.
How many passes did you count?
Ayo, how many?
The correct answer is 15 passes.
You got it right?
But did you see the gorilla?
Did you see the gorilla or no? How many of you missed the monyet? Tuh kan? Kelihatan sekarang.
This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted. It is available for use in talks, training, and teaching on DVDs from VizCog Productions. Learn more at theinvisiblegorilla.com.
All right. What was the basic, key takeaway of that? Basically, cognitive science proves that those people who are completely disconnected from your brands, they can't relate to it. Banyak ya tadi pembicaranya dari tadi pagi. If they don't relate to your brand, they don't feel, any kind of connection. They just don't pay attention to your brand. Okay? And a lot of your marketing budgets actually go waste. Like significantly goes waste because you're not compartmentalizing and figuring out who are the movable middles. This entire study is about how do you target the movable middles by placing your budgets. So I asked some questions kan tadi ya kepada kalian ya. Are you coffee tea person? What airline? What hospitality industry? Blah blah blah. What shoes? What footwear? What brands do you connect to? We have a loyalist like me. I stick to a brand for years. So we're divided into 3 clusters. Okay, the first one is they can't relate to your brand at all. How many ever times you advertise, wherever you are, how many ever channels you appear on, it just doesn't matter. Like that gorilla, you don't get noticed. The third part of the cluster are the loyalists, like Bappa, me also. Very difficult for me to change my mind from one brand to another. We love your brand. We are loyal to your brand, whether we see it everywhere or not, whether we look into whatever, others are serving us or not, we are completely loyal to your brand. So we are the loyalists. Now, this movable middle study of MMA Global is about the middle bucket. This is where you can mint your money. This is where you can actually have your movable middles look into your brand, experiment with it, because they are open to it. These are the group of people that are absolutely open to trying out your brand. You can give them how many ever times, how many, wherever you can appear, whatever you can do. They are very open to trying your brands. And that's your movable middle strategy that you need to look into. Doesn't mean you don't pump in your budgets to the other compartments as well. But it's like, how much are you? You're investing millions and millions of rupiah, but how are you compartmentalizing that? Are you using it wisely? It's not necessarily important to put in that kind of money in the first and the third bucket, but focus on the middle, the movable middles, the pursuable zone. Okay? The next slide shows the value per dollar. So when you look into this slide, you're thinking, if you're spending $1, what's the return you're getting on the first bucket, on the last bucket, and how many more, how much higher can you actually grow if you target the movable middles? And because we're in the world of AI, we can actually utilize a lot of AI tools to help you cleanse your data, compartmentalize your data, utilize that data, and figure out your movable middles, plan your budgeting accordingly, and figure out a way that you can target them in the best through the best channels possible. But definitely, there is a significant 2 to 23 times more responsive for the movable middles compared to the other two. Now, MMA Global ada beberapa case study juga. Ini beberapa brands yang sudah ongoing projects-nya, and it's not like, you have to wait it out. No, it's ongoing. You can actually try it out, utilize this framework, see how it helps your brands. These are some of the case studies, the numbers against each one of them, how much they are, how much they have gained in terms of the ROAS, in terms of their campaign performance. Ini ada deck-nya, ada case study-nya, nanti bisa kita share juga. Nah, basically the traditional way of, compartmentalizing and, targeting, and I know everybody you all have, especially brands and agencies and tech enablers, all of you have your own methodology, you have your own structure within your organization. But this study really, really focuses on being strategic and wise into a framework that can integrate towards whatever you're already using with the use of AI and figuring out the kind of budgets that you can put into, even in Indonesia. So again, these are some of the numbers. Actually, 10 to 40% of customers are in the movable middles, depending on how you're already doing things within your organizations, depending on whatever tools and technologies you're already doing. But from our study, 10 to 40% more customers are possible within your ecosystem that you can actually get into, trying and exploring your brand and even becoming loyal. So when you look at this is like overall, right? You have your ROAS, your account openings, your sales, your penetration. These are some of the case studies that we have, some of the results that we've been able to showcase, and it's a win-win all across. It's actually, we will share this entire study with you, those who have attended this. There's an entire study. And this is where you can actually see, and this is across industries, FMCG companies, banking and insurance services, retail businesses. We are seeing it across. So we have more case studies there, which we can actually send it to you. And for short-term and long-term planning, this is something that you need to look into. Whoever is handling the budgets within your space needs to actually look into the study and kind of understand the landscape better. Any questions, please do come to us. We have a really great person in the US and also Rohit in APAC who can actually give you more details on how your sales, your customers, and your brand can benefit from this entire framework. Obviously, everything sits on data. You already have this data, zero-party data, first-party data, third-party data. It's so easy, actually, to just, again, with the use of AI and the AI tools that we have, to be able to put them together, identify, cluster them, cleanse them, put it into certain buckets, and identify your loyal customers, identify the ones that actually don't relate to your brand at all, but they're there on your database, and the movable middles. Plan your budgets accordingly, look into that, and you'll see 10 to 40% growth in terms of your customer engagement, your sales, and everything else that you need to build on your business. A lot of MMA members are already using this. If you're interested, do reach out to us. It's a simple study. I'm not taking too much of your time because, of course, we're coming to the end of the entire session. But in case any one of you are interested in it, please let us know. And thank you for participating earlier. Terima kasih. Lovely to have all of you here. And one more session to go before we can call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shanti Tolani.